What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another NFL Big Board. JD's Big Board. JD, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic.
People are going to know the exact order we record these in because the quarterback one is going to have the longest intro, and the rest of these intros are going to be like bing, bang, boom, into it. JD's getting ready to go on a weekend trip. So we're really trying to get all these videos in. There's a lot more of them than the NBA side that Dave and I did. Before we get into it, though, Patreon, if you want to support us, get these early. Check that link down below in the description. If you want to join the best community in the universe, join the MVP Discord. That link is down below. And if you want to check out this man's full top 25 big board, mostvaluablepodcast.com, we now have a website. Go check it out. Link down below in the description. JD, though. We're talking running backs. We're looking at the running backs, a little view. Before we get into everything, let us know your running back rankings. Take us through them.
All right. So number 1 is going to be TreVeyon Henderson. Number 2 is Trey Benson. Number 3 is Raheem Sanders. Number 4 is Blake Corum. And number 5 is Bucky Irving.
So my really big question here is obviously Henderson, I believe across the board, is the number one for people. Here's the thing I have for you, and this is the only thing I'm coming into the running back video with. How many of these guys play themselves into into first round picks? Because it seems like of late, like Bijan Robinson, beginning of the year, people thought he was going to be good. No one thought he was going to be top 10 pick good. No one thought that he was going to rise that high. Like, and running back's always the position of like, do we waste a first round pick on them? Do any of these guys, is Henderson the only one, do you think, this year to play himself or be the only first round quarterback from this class?
No, I mean, it's tough to say because like, again, I'm somebody who doesn't value
the running back
position like that. But
just
if
get a committee, it'll work.
But yeah, well, if I had to choose, though, it'd definitely be Trey Benson.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the only two I can see being in the first round is Henderson and Benson.
Yeah, to me, I look at it and I'm a Henderson or bust guy in the first round. And like, the reason why I'm saying that right now is could any of these guys play themselves in? Absolutely. One of the guys I love is Blake Corum from Michigan. I loved him last year at the end of the year. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, comment section, he had a hell of a game against Ohio State last year and really sparked them in that game. I mean, when you rush for almost 1,500 yards on the year, you have 18 touchdowns, you're going to do that. I just have a feeling that a lot of these, like, Wisconsin's going to be a team of, like, I don't think Brandon Allen, I don't know if you mentioned him, I can't think of it, but he's a guy people look at. He's not going to be Melvin Gordon. Like, TreVeyon Henderson is going to get the media attention all year because of how great OSU is probably going to be. I mean, when you got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's going to be a bona fide top 5 pick, scouts are going to be at your games. But like, even like a guy, I look at Raheem Sanders out of Arkansas. When you got a dual threat quarterback like KJ Jefferson out there, like how many touches, these guys are going to get touches, but like how many of them are going to be overshadowed by other pieces? You know what I mean? Like, where I feel like TreVeyon Henderson is going to be one of the key pieces to why Ohio State is good.
So normally I agree with that completely, which is like, we'll go through it later in the other videos, but running back is the one position group where I don't think stats always matters. So I don't think it'll really matter as much. I think NFL teams will look at the actual traits of these players. And that's how they do their evaluations. They're not going to look at, okay, X player has 1,000 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. So,
who's the Jahmyr Gibbs of this draft? Is there a Jahmyr Gibbs in your top 5? And what I mean by that, for those of you who might be new, Gibbs was somebody that JD, I'm not going to go on a limb and try to remember what side you were on. I believe you're on my side. Did not see him as a first, like if he was a first round talent, maybe end of the like 30, 31, 32.
That's where I was. Late first round.
Like late first round. If the Eagles wanted a running back, I think that's where I mocked him most of the time, but I did not have him as high as he went. He was a second round talent, like second round graded talent for me. And I think he went way too high. When I asked who's the Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously I was very critical of that pick. Is there any of these guys that are going to be graded second round, third round talent? I'm not saying Gibbs was third round. I'm just throwing it out there. They're graded second, third round, but they go not first overall, first round because of, like you said, oh, this guy has a skill that I think we need, and I'm going to take that over where he's valued and where he's graded.
Or I would say if there was a player like that, it'd be Raheem Sanders, who is the most likely to sneak in, or that, just because I think he does everything well when it comes, like, especially as a blocking. He blocks really well in the college level, and he has good hands out of the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, so the one guy, well, there's actually two guys on your list that I have not dove enough into their film, and I want to ask you about. So Sanders, Corum, Henderson, well aware of those three. Trey Benson and Bucky Irving. What do you see out of them? Because those are the two guys, the only two guys on your list right now that I'm like, I have to look into more, because right now, beginning of the process, you're focusing, like, I'm talking me, you're focusing on some of the guys early to prep for the season, and some of the guys just haven't been looked at yet.
So with Trey Benson, it pains me to say it because he's an FSU player, but he just shakes tackles. Like, I don't want to say he's like an Eddie Lacy type, because I think he's in much better shape, but he's just slippery, and he runs with power. So that's something that I think NFL teams will love, especially as a third down back, because something I'm noticing more at the NFL is third down running backs are hard to come by now.
Yeah.
And I think he can fill that role really well. He also he has good size for the running back position. Like, he's 6'1", 215 pounds. So, and he runs a I have it here. He runs a 4.37. So I mean, he has speed, he runs with power, and I think I easily think he would be the number one running back if TreVeyon Henderson wasn't in this year's class. Yeah,
like, and the one thing I want to correct myself on is I said Oregon for Benson. Two reasons why I made that mistake. One, Bucky Irving is from Oregon, and number two, Benson used to play for Oregon 2 years ago, so I was thinking of him. You said Florida State, and I went, did I mess that up? Did I say anything stupid today? And I did, so I wanted to correct myself before someone did in the comment section. JD, any final thoughts, anything you think we missed on the running back position? Because for me, this is one where I'm just wondering who, like, Henderson to me is going to be probably the guy everyone looks at, who's going to play themselves up. Henderson will probably be the highest running back taken. Could be first round, could be second round, but it'll probably be first round. It all depends on who plays up, who has a good year, and kind of gets into that, like, hey, they're getting closer to Henderson stock levels.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say. I think we've hit pretty much everything so far, but I do think that running back has a chance to be a much deeper, like, positional draft. So, like, because there's a lot of other guys that, like, we haven't even touched, or I haven't even put on my list, who I've watched tape on, and I think that they have pretty good traits, but we'll learn more as the season goes on.
There's always people where it's like beginning of the year, wasn't on anybody's list, came out of nowhere. It's just interesting right now. Like, the lists are always really small right now. And then they expand because more guys, they didn't think they were going to be an option for the draft. Now they are. So running back, we're going to have to see how many of those guys kind of, like, come out of the woodwork. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think of the running backs. More important question, running back we didn't mention. Who's one of those guys that comes out of the woodworks? Let us know down below. Remember, check out our Patreon page if you want to support us, can get these videos early as one of the perks for becoming a patron. Check out the MVP Discord, greatest community in the universe. That is down below in the description, along with mostvaluablepodcasts.com, where you can check out this boy's top 25 big board, the 1.0 big board coming into the season. Want to thank you guys for everything you do. Check out all our other big board videos for JD's 1.0. And as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.